Hello, that took a while. Here we are way up in the corner. We're all very small, but there's a reason for that. It's because you're going to have to see most of the screen tonight to understand most of what we're doing. Because we're not actually playing a game tonight. Tonight we are actually going to be making characters for a game that doesn't start till January. If this sounds suspiciously like planning ahead, it is, which is weird, but here we are. So these fine and wondrous people, this some parts don't change. Some parts we're going to do the same here tonight. I'm going to introduce these amazing people because you don't know all of them. So let's start with our lore director, in-house artist, and player and founding member of Dirty 20 Gaming, Robin.
Hi, I'm Robin, Thunderscape7 most places. I do art and all around just kind of lurk around on the internet.
Pop your links in there. If I'll give you can look them up now while I move on.
Yes, I was not
Yeah,
prepared. One of us was, and it wasn't
that's
me.
because this one's different, but it's kind of the same. Because I still want to make sure that everybody knows the important people, which is you guys. Next, also an artist, also a founding member, also a player, not a lore director. But not everybody can have all the titles. In fact, Robin is the only one that has that title, including me. But but also a founding member of the group, joining us this evening. Uh, how do you prefer to be referred to tonight? We usually go with Wayward Knight.
I mean, y'all can call me Chris. It's
All right,
fine.
I wanted to have make sure.
um,
Joining us this evening, Chris. Where can they find you? Speaking of Wayward Knight.
I am Wayward Knight. On a lot of things that are Wayward Knighted. Like Kevin said, I'm an artist. I'm also a Detroit area actor, and I sell my art on the internet and at local craft fairs. And if you would like to support me, you can buy my stuff here.
Yes, post links. Wonderful, thank you.
I should really update it.
All right, thank you. Next, because he's muted and looking down and typing dramatically.
No, look at my cards.
Not you, actually. Not you. We got the other one that was looking down
us.
dramatically. You were both looking down dramatically, it turns out. And I like that phrase, apparently, looking down dramatically. I'm going to do it now. There, I did. Okay. Let's talk to Bison. Where can we find you when you're not here?
The rare moments that I'm not here, you can find me on my own Twitch channel. I play video games. Lately, it's been Elden Ring and Darktide. Elden Ring because I like to hate myself, and Darktide because I like to hit things. Yeah, good times. But most of the time you'll find me here. Wednesday nights I play Lioness Longshadow on Deeper Delve, which is a Lost Mine of Phandelver run. And I think that's actually it right now. Yeah.
Until January when this starts, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. And we saved you for last because you're kind of, I know you've been on, I think you were on one shot before, but you're practically a stranger to most of these folks. I see you pretty much every week. But Phil, thank you for joining us very much. What is your social presence like? Your social medias?
It is zero.
It is zero. Well, that's quick. And you have nothing to type in. That's good.
Exactly. I like to keep them within my own circles.
Yes.
Maybe I did branch out to try YouTube like once, like 3 years ago. Wasn't for me.
No. Excellent. Well, for those who don't know, Phil is from the offline game that I run on Wednesday nights while you guys are over here playing Dungeons and Dragons. We're over somewhere else playing Dungeons and Dragons. But with that comes around to me. I only got one thing tonight. Tomorrow night, that's right, yeah, the 18th, I think is our last scheduled game before the holiday season. And then we won't be back till the 3rd of January, where we come back with the last hurrah of Honest Jack Rackham, and I'm gonna hunt that sumbitch down as
Isn't
Bang.
there
Oh, Bang's
game on
angry.
the 23rd.
with the exception of the one shot on the 23rd. Yes, our wonderful and marvelous and talented Hellhounds 20 is going to run a one shot for us. I don't want to give it away too many details because it's the best spoiler is the one that nobody sees. So set aside the 23rd on the evening because a bunch of us who haven't played in a while by then are going to have some fun in a very traditional Dirty 20 gaming fun shot run by Hellhounds 20 for us. But let's
I'm
get to
excited
this.
to watch that.
Oh, it's going to be ridiculous. The amount of sugar that I'm going to have in me before that starts. Okay. Here we go. Let's play Necrobiotica, but first we have to make characters. To do that, oh yes, Phil is also humbly failed to mention that he is the DM for the infamous Tuesday night group. Let's just leave infamous there. It's a very dark game, probably like not streamably levels of dark. And they
No,
all love it, and
no.
they all
Darker than the unwanted.
Yeah.
there are pits and places. Yeah, they go places. Anyway, we're not doing that. Compared to that, this is all sunshine, roses, and unicorn farts. But it's still a pretty dark world. But let's build some characters.
When Chera says it's darker than unwanted.
Yeah. So, let's build some characters. I know you guys have kind of cheated and got ahead of yourselves, but we're going to pretend you didn't. So,
Hey,
your secret's out.
I didn't.
You're completely blank. All right, perfect. First thing we're going to do, go to page 51 in the manual, type in page 52 if you're in the Adobe document because numbering. The first thing we're going to do is pick your archetype. This is the equivalent of your class. This is going to give you some special moves that you can choose, some skills, that sort of thing. But this is where we're going to start. There are 6 options, although I'm kind of hoping nobody takes the 6th one, I'll be honest. But we'll get there. Did you find the page? It starts with architect. Okay, cool. So the 6 options are, and I'm going to go to them here so everybody else can see them too. Bam. There we go. Everybody do number 6. Of course, yeah. That would be interesting if they all did. Yeah, if they all did Children of the or they be like watching a bunch of cultists trying to get something done in a city that didn't really like them, but
So too many warlocks.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, which one of you has to be charming? All right. So those 6 options, we're going to go over them in a bit of detail here. The first one is the architect. It is not quite what it sounds like. In this world, the deceased are processed is the best word. I'm trying to make this really clear that they end up as utterly mindless programmable automatons. There's nothing left in them. They follow simple algorithms and do what they're instructed, not even what they're told, but what they're programmed to do. Architects are the people that have been trained to go through that process. So, as a result, you have a very specific set of skills, which transfers into the outside world quite well. You would have trained at the Citadel, which is the Citadel of Science, which is the place that discovered this process by which they have basically made enough slaves, but they're truly mindless, so there's no ethical issues. But there's enough of these constructs, they call them, to take care of all the menial labor, to do all the farming, to do all the cleaning. There is no electricity in this world, none. So there's no internet. But other than that, some tech survive. So there's a lot of steam-powered stuff. There's a lot of mechanical-powered things. There's just zero electricity. But these architects who do this process, your starting equipment includes a Citadel leather apron. Why is an apron on my list of stuff? Because it's a status symbol. Wearing that means you have a certain level of training, and that will gain you a certain amount of esteem and a certain amount of respect wherever you go. You also have a scalpel, which you can use as a knife or a medical bag. Your gear skills. Now, one of the many interesting things with this game, and I'm going to say that sentence a lot tonight, is these gear skills that are given to you. There's 4 of them. You don't get these. They go on the list of skills that you can choose from. So technically, you could take all 4 of them. Technically, you could take one of them. Technically, you could make an architect that had none of these skills. But they go on the character sheet that we'll talk about in a minute. But I'm going to go through the actual archetypes first. So their skills are, we're going to go over these a little quicker. Advanced medicine, which basically is the healing skill in this game. If you do not have this skill, you cannot heal. So somebody should probably be one of these. Also, neurological programming. It allows you to reprogram these constructs using their interfaces. So you could take one that somebody else has made and you know how to reprogram it. You speak construct basic, basically. The next 2 are
necromancers.
Well, kind of, except
Techromancers.
They're literal necromancers, but the necro in this is different because they're literally a construct, right?
Decromancers.
Yeah. Yo, I like that. Emergency pharmacology is you can make compound stimulants, drugs, and other makeshift items. This is a really handy skill because one of the things you have to do in this game is build an item that moves the plot along. So this makes that easier to do. And then societal esteem, we talked about it earlier. With that apron comes a certain level of respect. So they keep it simple. Each archetype only has 2 pieces of starting equipment or so and 4 skills that they can choose. Buff dude in a picture. Next page. The engineer is the next character, or as they call it, I'll use their language, archetype. This one, the engineer, is exactly what it sounds like. They build stuff. Their starting equipment includes a forge hammer and a citadel leather apron. Both of these things would mark you as one of these. Somebody you see wearing both of those, engineer, you know. Their gear skills are engineering design, pretty self-explanatory. Mechanical and chemical construction, they can build it or put it together and make it blow up. Makeshift armory, exactly that. They can make weapons and armor. And societal esteem, because of the training that they've got through and that they trained at the Citadel. So everybody that trained there gets a certain level of esteem that they can use. Next is militia. This is the one I built, the first time I built the character in this. I got a soft spot in my head for this one. I know it's supposed to be a soft spot in my heart, but if you play one of these, you got a soft spot in your head. Starting equipment, repeating handbow, hand crossbow, sonic truncheon, which is a stick that goes boom, and suppression grenades, which is a grenade that goes boom, or a detective kit that allows you to search. The reason you get 3 things is that you need one of them to do one of your 4 skills. So Codex Scientificus, this is the law of the land in this place. It is a series of, as they refer to them, extraordinarily complex formula to determine the guilt or innocence of the party. Most people say they're so complicated that only the militia higher ups understand it, the ones that actually apply it. The cynical say that even they don't understand it, and the extremely cynical say it doesn't mean anything and they pick whoever they want to go to jail and suffer. But that's the Codex Scientificus means you know how to abuse and manipulate that system to get what you want. Interrogation is exactly that, getting information. Search for traces is Sherlock Holmes and that stuff. Pop into a room and search the room and try and find what you can find. And bureaucratic processes, you know how to cut red tape, which is important, of course. There's a difference between militia and the soldier. The soldiery basically doesn't come in the city. They are heavily armed technophants, as they call them in this game. Think phant as an elephant. Technophant being highly armored, heavily weaponized soldiers. They're not a class that you can play. Except they are, because they're next. Technophants. Their starting equipment is the combat knife or repeating hand crossbow and the blacksmith in a box, which allows them essentially to fix themselves. Their skills are techno-powered combat. They're amazing when it thumps stuff. Supercharged movement. They're incredibly fast. Armament maintenance, because it's an interesting skill. You can choose to have it or not. If you have it, you can maintain your own stuff. If you don't have it, you have to find somebody to maintain it for you. And then survival, which allows you to stay alive outside the city, which doesn't sound like much, but unlike a certain other game, sir, if you go outside the walls here, there's a small area of protected farmland protected by these heavily armored technophants, and then the death zone. Full companies of military are what go from one city to another. Hundreds and hundreds of soldiers guarding 5 or 6 traders because it's that bad out there. We'll move on.
What all's out there?
That's the thing. Some of the stories about what's out there can't be true. It is a place of mythic badness.
Secret.
Bandits, mercenaries, those are the least of your worries. Children of the river gone mad, so people that can supposedly control time and space. There's all the stories they scared you with in your youth about so-called intelligent constructs. It can't happen. There's no way, but that's what people respond to or say that they've heard out there. Of course, they also say they've seen 50-foot lizards. They've seen said 50-foot lizards fighting 40-foot gorillas. So who knows, right? Everything beyond the farms is myth.
Okay.
And we'll get more into that at the start of the first actual session. We're going to spend some time setting the scene that day because it is a very different world. But these are great questions. Keep on coming. The Technosopher. This is somebody who actually thinks they can go back and they can recover technology. These are the people that, as it says here, they speak basic. They can actually, if they can fix old materials, they can actually make it work, or they can at least make it do something. Maybe not what it was supposed to do, but they can make it do stuff. So they get essentially a rifle or a stick, and then you get a drone or the one of 2 drones. It's either a battle drone or a recon drone that you can control. That's a piece of sort of scavenged equipment that you've figured out how to get back, and you've converted it to modern technology. In other words, it's steam-powered drone, so it doesn't have a lot of flight time. Batteries don't exist here. So your skills are information tech. So if you find something, you may be able to get it. You may be able to find the on button, at least, and from there on, I can guarantee nothing. Electronic assembly, you can put stuff together. Maybe it does what it was supposed to do. Maybe it does something different. Maybe you're trying to make it do something different than it already does. You can do all of those things. This is also a great skill for building stuff. Archaeopiloting, this one is wild. If you find a vehicle from the old age and you can get it to run, you can somehow drive it. And
That's
then
some
survive.
Fallout shit right there.
Yeah, and then survival, which allows you to, again, survive outside the cities. That's the ones I'm hoping people play. I'm going to quickly go over Children of the River. This is the only magic element in the game, so I'm kind of glad. I don't think anybody took this, so I'm kind of glad they didn't. So I'm going to go over it real quick. You get a Cascade Poncho, which is essentially the status symbol amongst this group of people. Your skills all involve, I'm not even going to go over them specifically, but they all involve attuning to the world, essentially, and causing things to happen. That way, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, nobody really knows. But the first step is to choose which one of those you want to be. And then once you've done so, write down the starting equipment and those 4 skills on your character sheet. This is the character sheet.
And the gear skills that goes there.
Okay. Yeah, under your 4th, under your where it says gear and then the spade. Those 4 skills go in there. You notice there's check boxes. So like I said, you don't automatically get these. But pop those in there. Also up at the top, if you want, where it says Joker, write in the name of your archetype. while you're doing that, I'll mention another one here. Inventory. You notice there's only 6 slots in your inventory. That's because you can only carry 6 things. You can have as much stuff as you want, but there's no encumbrance here. You can only carry 6 things. That's how this works. Let me know once you're done, or I'll just keep talking about technical stuff.
I'm having issues with the PDF. All I can see is like the first 2 words of whatever I write in. Because it just keeps scrolling.
I hate when it
Oh,
does
it's
that.
supposed to. I set it to scroll long entries, but you should be seeing more than 2 words.
I think I might be because I'm using Nitro, not Adobe.
Maybe.
I swear to God, I saw an entry for the combat knife when I was looking at this earlier, and now I cannot find it.
I will allow you to move ahead of the class. Page 209 to 211, or sorry, weapons is 215 to 216.
Okay.
There's also, we're going to get to weapons because they all have that last column, their attributes. But we're going to get to that because I have an order. I have a plan.
Should we say what we're thinking of playing? Like, as in, like,
If you
out
like,
loud,
yeah.
or
Just before you do, I want to mention one thing. I told you guys before, but I want to tell the audience. Florence, where this is set, has got 3,500 people, maybe 3,800 people in the whole city, and nobody leaves. So everybody knows everybody is an understatement. At the very least, the 4 of you would all go, "Oh yeah, I know them." You would have seen each other at least every couple of days. It's a small town inside a wall. And the farmers who work outside come back in at night and then go back out in the day. So they're not even here during the day. So there's, during the day, there's maybe 1,800, 1,900 people here. Because the farmers have to go out and run the constructs. Like the constructs do the work, but they individually have to be told what to do. So there are people out there doing that. I love all the thought. This is one of my favorite parts with new systems is everybody's go there. I can see some of you are like trying to put together combo moves already. Some of you are like, I don't know what I want to be. But questions, ask questions. How about that? Chat too. Oh, Clean is
well,
here.
I'm not
Hello.
gonna
I promise
I'm
not to
not
ban you
asking
this
a
time.
question,
Yeah.
but I will say I was thinking of going militia.
Okay.
Wanna
That's a great
know.
one because it gives you that investigation skill. Make sure you take, in that case, take the detective's kit because without that you can't do the skill. I mean, you could steal one, but yeah. And the nice thing with it over there where gear is, that doesn't cost you an inventory slot because it counts. Oh yes, it does. Pardon me. It counts as both. And make sure you take the skill when we get to skills, and then put that in your inventory. Detective kit. Anybody else?
What?
You want to share what archetype you're going to play?
I'm going for an engineer.
Yeah.
Okay. Another, is
I'm
that,
going
yeah?
for.
Oh,
I'm going for architect.
And I'm doing technosopher.
okay. So yeah, that's a nice spread, and we do have a healer. Yay! Okay. So that one's done. When we're building our decks, I know some of you already have. But for those of you following along at home, at this point, you would take a joker and start your deck with 1 joker. That joker counts as an automatic success. Anytime you play it, we'll get to how that works in a little bit. But that's that. Now we're
For
going to
Twitch,
move.
this crusty little guy is my joker.
I love it. So next, we're going to do acquired knowledge, innate abilities, and flaws. Flaws. I don't know why I said it that way. All right. The face cards in this game don't play like face cards. The jacks represent acquired knowledge, skills you've learned, things like, for example, martial arts, neurosurgeon, artist, journalist, psychiatrist, things like that. Skills that required training and time to commit to get them. Queens, on the other hand, represent innate abilities. These are things you're born with. So extra gear, you're just more equipped than most people. You're just readier than most people, so you get an extra card. Huge, resilient, bear hug, confident, developed senses, graceful, things that are innate to you. During the character building process, you can pick either a jack or a queen. So either an innate ability or an acquired skill. Or you can take a king. Kings represent flaws. The examples here are lingering mind. You're smart, it just takes a while to get there. Dead nose, you can't smell anything. So that could be a serious disadvantage in some instances. Construct sympathy, you just can't get over the fact that the constructs used to be, right? So that it prevents you from processing. Why in the world would you take a flaw? Well, if you take a flaw, you get to take, if you take a king, you get to take a jack and a queen and the king. When you're playing, every time you draw a king out of the deck, you immediately have to play it and tell us all how that fail occurred, how that flaw caused you grief in this instant, in this moment, and made things more difficult. But it also means you have an innate ability and an acquired skill. So those are your options. For the purposes of this, I'm going to ask that we stay with the ones that are on the page. I can reskin them if you like, but stay with those just because they've been play tested and we haven't play tested anything else. The other thing with these face cards, I said they don't play like regular cards. Oh, once you pick one or three, depending on which one you're doing, put those with the Joker in your deck. They don't play like regular cards. They don't play as a king because in this game we add numbers up and king doesn't have a number. Depending on the power of the card, so let's go back to jacks here. Depending on the power of the card, the more powerful the ability that comes with it, the less powerful the card is when it's played in your hand. So let's start with, let's take the martial arts. When you thump somebody, you do essentially 2 damage instead of 1. So it doubles up your ability to do damage. Because that is a fairly strong thing, the card only counts as a 4 when you play it. It doesn't count as 13 or whatever a king would count as. It only counts as a 4. If you pick a less powerful card, where's on here, the weakest we can go? Yes, one of my favorite ones for the humble person. If you choose to be an artist and you want that card to count as an 8, which is an automatic success by itself, and if you get to play it in that suit, it's 2 successes all by itself. We'll get to that. But what you gain for that, and I'm gonna do both air quotes with this one. What you gain for that, you getting to use it as an 8 is, and I'm quoting, "You are an artist in a specific field such as theater, painting, poetry, or similar. You are good, but not noteworthy." Like,
You're an
ouch.
extra.
Just oh jeez. But for that you get potentially a double success card. So yeah, humility moment there. But that gives you an idea of the range of and the payoff. Everything in this game is a payoff. So does anybody mind sharing each of these choices as we make them?
I went with navigated.
Okay.
Just because I don't trust myself.
Right. So when playing in the dark, you draw 2 cards and choose one. So yeah, so playing in the dark is when you're out of cards in your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went with bear hug.
Which is? Tell us what that does.
Your hug is soothing. By holding a patient for 1 night, you can remove the first trauma from any characteristic.
Wow. That's a big deal because the first trauma, what they mean by trauma builds up to 4, right? And you have to heal the hardest one first, and you have to have as many successes as that level of trauma. So to heal a level 3 trauma, you have to be able to make 3 successes. So the ability to do that overnight is a huge bonus for those high ones that you just don't have the numbers to beat. That's awesome. Robin, what were you? Oh, Phil, yeah, you pointed at the sky. What do you mean?
I still have yet to choose my Jack and
The inner
Queen.
student. Yeah.
I still have yet to choose my Jack and Queen, but I am taking a king.
Oh God, which
I'm
one?
taking mental scars, and
Okay.
basically, it's gonna be psychosis at
Okay.
certain times.
Yep.
So Radamax of psychosis. So whenever I pull this
All
up,
right. So yeah,
feel free
flashbacks
to
or
hit
something.
me
Yeah.
with
Yep.
visions, voices.
Oh, I'm
You
not.
name it.
It is very clear in the rule book. You put that king in there.
Oh yeah.
You tell us how it blows up in your face
Okay.
every 24 cards.
I'm excited for it.
No, pick a Jack or a Queen for it. Both, actually. Pick one of each. You get to pick both.
I will get back to you on that.
Yes.
Hey, we're
Okay.
both gluttons for punishment because I also picked the king.
Which one?
I'm reskinning Dead Nose.
Okay. 2.
It's basically the same thing, but instead of not being able to smell, it's neurological or psychological damage left you with constant headache pain. This can lead to stress and confusion, but also emotional pain or trouble with comprehension when overwhelmed.
Oh.
It's
Ouch.
just playing from
Ouch.
the deck there, huh?
Oh, okay. And then have you picked your Jack and Queen?
Yes, I have.
What did you get? I'm interested. now.
I for my artist, I picked for
Phil,
Jack.
no
I picked
pressure, but
artist.
hurry.
I can talk slower. And for artist, I
Oh, wait, we gotta
I
put
picked
Phil
the-
out. Hold on, we gotta
middle
get the fire
option.
extinguisher and put Phil out.
which is you're a renowned artist in a specific field. You can make earnings from your art, but it's not enough to keep you afloat.
Okay,
Which
which
made
one
a
was
lot of
that?
sense
Is
for
that
this
4,
world.
6, or 8?
Artist 6.
6.
6. Okay. Yeah.
I thought
Nice.
about doing 8, but I was like, it makes more sense if there's like some kind of benefit to actually
Yes.
doing it.
Yeah. Exactly.
In this
yeah.
world.
And a 6 is still
And then
damn close to a success. So
yeah.
8,
And then
for anybody who's wondering,
for
is the success.
Queen, I took resilience. You've become accustomed to pain. Ignore the -1 modifier you would receive from the second trauma in steel. I'm being thematic.
Our first synergy of the game. I have this penalty. No, I don't.
I got a question actually.
Yeah,
Does
Yeah.
the suit does a suit matter for which like card we're picking up?
It
the face
will
cards?
whatever suit it says on the chart. That's what suit of the Jack or Queen you take.
Ah, okay, perfect.
That
So
way
I'm
all
gonna
you have to
take.
remember is the value.
I'm going to take the Queen. I'm gonna take develop senses. So when you make a perception skill linked to your developed sense, you have a +1 modifier to all cards, regardless of suit, and it's gonna
All
be
cards.
and it's
Oh,
gonna be for sight.
wow. Okay.
This-
Eagle eyes over here.
this
All right.
one.
Yeah.
Mhm. And then
That's the
for
Queen,
my
so-
Jack, I'm
You're
torn
smiling
here.
like you think this is gonna hurt me. What do you got?
I'm torn here. Either recognize either psychiatrist, so you can make plays in the reasoning skills to remove steam trauma, or life of the party. You can easily smooth over any social missteps and at ease in any social context.
The face.
Mhm.
That's what that is. That's a face card that says you're the face of the party. So that's what those are the two. I mean, you're not, you can change anything you want. All of you can. We're not playing until the bloody New Year, but for tonight. And Chris, have we hit yours yet? No. What are you doing?
Yeah, we did.
Did you? Okay. Is everybody giving us their, that's right. Cause you only picked one. You weren't complicated.
The Wednesday
Me and
crew
Chris
gotta be
are playing it safe.
complicated.
Yeah. All right. So that's the face cards. So put those in your deck. If you picked a Jack, put that appropriate Jack in your deck. If you picked the Queen, if you picked all 3, pile them up. Next, we're doing this completely backwards. Anybody who's following along the book, page 44. In the book, suits, cards, and characteristics. We are going to, actually, I'm going to go back to the character sheet for this because I had an epiphanious moment, because epiphany isn't a fancy enough word. I had to make it even better. I had an epiphanious moment that it makes more sense to me to do these two in what is traditionally the wrong order. We're going to do skills for. Tell me if this makes sense. I know it says skills above flesh, steel, steam, and gear, but those are actually your characteristics. Your skills are charisma, empathy, that list.
Hmm.
Because if you think about the ones at the bottom are called your gear skills, the ones that you added, those the things in the wrong spot. Never mind.
So it makes sense to go to the gear skills next.
Yes, do your skills first, and then decide how many cards you want in each of those. Right. So
Yeah, kind of explain what each one does.
exactly. Plus, you can look at where you put your dots and go, oh, I decided to have 3 of them just in this one, so let's take that to an 8 because that's as high as I can go. Right. So out of you've now got 16 because there's 4 in each of the characteristics, right? You've got the 4 in flesh, 4 in steel, 4 in steam, and 4 in gear that you've added yourselves. You get to check 6 boxes or 5 boxes and an upgrade.
Thought it was 20 across the board.
That's the points for
That's the points for the
characteristics.
4. This is what you're
Oh,
proficient
Yeah,
in.
we're doing the actual. I know it says skills
Basically.
above those 4, but we're doing that row that starts with charisma,
oh,
empathy,
there's
firmness, manipulation.
16
16
things.
dots there. Yeah.
Duh.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
No,
Get
it's
confused.
yeah. It says skills where you went. I'm going to do the skills here. That made sense. So yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I wish I'd moved
It's the
that
fact that the
before I'd sent
stats are
you
called
guys the.
skills and it's confusing.
Yeah.
Would you like to remind the audience here, definitely not me, what the
Yeah.
upgrades are? Like what
Yes,
are
I
the
was just
choices
about to get
for
to
the
that.
upgrades?
The upgrades are. Where are my upgrades? I wrote my list here. Page 45, which is actually page 46. This way. Bam. To upgrade a skill, and you kind of have to just add it somewhere on the sheet. There's not really a space to do it. But to upgrade a skill, you don't do like in most games where you add another level. You actually add an adjective. They're on page 45 of the book. And that adjective changes the way that they work. There's got to be an English major somewhere in the game development process here because they do this a couple times and I just love it. So your choices for the people that can't read the tiny, tiny script that's up there right now. Disruptive. I'm going to just read them first and then we'll go through them. Disruptive, prepared, desperate, instinctive, tireless, excellent, and safe. So you can add that to any one of your 16 skills. So what does that do? Disruptive. It allows you to play an additional card. So if you don't have a skill, you play 1 card. If you have a skill, you play 2 cards. If you have this, you could play up to 3 cards. It says can because when you do, that's the big powerful thing, getting that extra card. If you use this option at the end of the play, you throw away the rest of your hand. So you're sitting there with 0 cards, waiting to take
Wow.
literally to take consequences until your next turn when you can skip
Yeah.
a turn to fill up. So
Yes, Charis, we know who you are.
Disruptive, yes. Yes, so that's what that one does. Prepared, again, any one of these skills, it allows you to return one of the played cards to your hand once the play is complete. Think about that for a second. Your 8 of that skill, right? So say you took whatever, and you have the 8 of that suit in your hand. As long as you play it on that skill, you can take it back at the end of every turn. So you can succeed with it, take it back. Succeed with it, take it back. It's an amazing skill. And there's no penalty for it. You just get it back. The difficulty with that one is you have to have that card. You have to get that card in your hand in the first place, and you have to use it on that specific skill, not that characteristic, but that specific skill. Desperate. It allows you for automatic success at the cost of gaining trauma in the appropriate characteristic. So you absolutely need to make that shot. There's no, come on, I need a 12. Nope. I choose to succeed, and I'm willing to take pain in one of these 4 categories, like that's going to require medical or psychological treatment to make sure that I hit.
Or a hug.
Or a hug to make sure that I hit. Instinctive allows when you're playing in the dark to draw an extra card. So if you wanted to be a real bugger about this, who took the one that gives you the extra card?
That'd be me.
Yeah. So if you
Take
also
three.
if you made that skill instinctive, you would then draw 3 cards instead of the 2 that you got from that skill. Choose which one to play and throw the other 2 away. And you don't have a king in your deck, so you don't care how fast you go through that deck. Because when the deck is empty, you just shuffle and restart, right? Tireless.
That could be pretty funny.
Yeah, that's like the taking the lucky feat for a halfling. Your DM goes, yes, that rules as written. That's perfectly legal. I'm going to burn down your house. Go ahead. It's the first time we're playing this game. Go ahead. I don't care.
Mhm.
We're already got people that go, here, I'll take this and then I'll offset it. So yeah, have fun.
You
Tireless.
said
Yeah.
You said 6 skills or 5 and an upgrade?
And an upgrade, yep.
Okay.
You can't do multiple upgrades. You can't do like 4 and 2. So
You can't put all of them on one.
On one skill, yeah. I'm a one-trick pony. Tireless. This one is extremely powerful. Immediately after a play, draw and add to your hand as many cards as you just played -1. So, Mr. 3 cards blind, yeah. You would then play 3 cards and then draw 2.
And that only applies to the skill
That one skill. So yeah.
Okay.
Put it on a skill that you could use everywhere. You are looking for the universal skill in that class that you can use on everything.
All right. Where's my square peg?
Yes. Excellent. So actually, somebody's got this as an ability too. The value of the cards plays gains +1. That's you, Chris, right? No? I thought you had a thing that gave all your cards +1. Wasn't that your queen?
No, my queen lets me heal people.
That's the bear
Right.
hug.
Or
That's
my
me.
That's
you.
Phil.
It's Phil.
I've got
right?
the perception
Yeah.
that gives +1 to all like kind of eyesight things.
Okay, so yeah, if you then took excellent, that would be +1 on all of your cards and +2 on that,
So
That's
because all the
insane.
bonuses stack. So, and then the final one is safe. It allows you to remove a consequence. That's a big deal because consequences are a huge part of this game. You know, as long as you initiate the combat, you know what the consequences are beforehand, and you know how many of them there are, and you choose to use your successes to succeed, offset consequences, and some other stuff that we're going to get to when we get to the actual play part. We're almost done this bit. Being allowed to remove a consequence is a big deal. But 6 skills or 5 and an upgrade. Let me know when you're done, and if you're willing to share what your skills are and or upgrades, that would be great.
Um,
In fact, now that I'm thinking about this, while you guys do this, I was going to do the slideshow for when there was not a map and when there's not stuff going on in the map window, and we can do stuff like put your jack, queens, and kings in there so that people know that even the skills that you've chosen, because there's only 6 of them max.
Mhm.
So you can add skills, but it takes like multiple experience points to do it. So we don't have to worry about that for any time real soon.
I've got a question. Firmness.
Yeah.
What type of skill is that?
For which?
Firmness, the skill descriptions are on page 44
Thank
in the sidebar. Firmness is like basically, some people would consider their resolve. Other people would say stubbornness.
Yeah, incorruptibility, resisting adversity. Resistance is chemical poisons, more chemical stuff.
Firmness is like
here we
the
go.
mental version of resistance.
Exactly. That's
Okay.
resistance is physical endurance, and yeah, it should. I would suggest firmness should say mental endurance. You resist manipulation, which is a specific skill. Prove incorruptible and resist adversity. It's what did they call Elliot Ness's guys? Not the incorruptibles, the untouchables. That's what it was. Yeah.
Mhm.
You can't sway me. Never made any sense to me anyway. I'll pay you a bunch of money. I'll kill you, take all your money, claim you didn't have it. Best of both worlds. Have a nice day. I probably wouldn't be a good cop.
All right,
So
I
I've got
think I've got
mine figured out
Oh,
too.
go
Okay.
ahead.
Oh.
Oh, I'm going for theming.
Yes.
Same.
So
I've got my theme too.
I'm gonna
hey,
pop back here to that page so we can all sort of play
I
along at home. Yeah.
picked for the skills I'm going to have as empathy, resistance, dexterity, perception, and survival, which is from Technosopher.
Yes.
And I'm going to have an upgrade to my dexterity, which is desperate dexterity.
Okay. Dexterity is anything thrown or shot. So yeah, any ranged weapons.
And the theming is, if that shot really has to hit, you push through.
Yep,
basically.
absolutely.
And take a trauma
Get
for
the
it, 'cause
nosebleed,
ow.
make the shot. Yeah. Like the psychic effort. Oh, was that scanners? That's what that was. Oh. Content warning. Watch scanners. Content warning.
I guess for me, this is gonna be I'm kind of a one trick here.
Excellent.
I've got 3 in Steam and 3 in gear. So I've
that's
got
2 tricks.
dexterity.
Okay.
That's true. I can't really be a one trick though.
No, you're a coin. You've got 2 sides.
Dexterity, perception, and reasoning.
Yep, that makes sense.
I've got Codex Scientificus, which is allows me to kind of understand and manipulate the kind of laws around
Put
the
people
world.
in jail, get people out of jail. Yeah, all the good stuff.
Yeah, I've got interrogation.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And I've got search for traces.
Excellent. So you just took 6 with no upgrades. All right.
Yep, 6 with no
Perfect.
upgrades. Got the dexterity for my hand crossbow, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Same for me.
It's and then because you also have the sonic truncheon, the stick that goes boom, that uses combat, which is your steel skill. So
unless I throw it.
That is absolutely true. Yep.
One time use.
I was going to say, yes, if you're going to throw it, we're adding the adjective. They do it again. We're going to get to weapons in a bit. But yeah, add one time. Thrown one time use in brackets at the end. I love that. Misses and hits the wall, goes bang, breaks all the windows in the building. Sorry.
I went with 6 skills. I went with firmness, athletics, combat, resistance, and then I took 2 of my gear skills. I'll go to the actual page because it's easier.
Yes.
I went with mechanical and chemical construction. With an available workshop, the skill allows you to produce weapons, mechanical objects, chemical prep of various types, following the rules for creating objects. And I took makeshift armory, which allows me to build weapons even in the absence of a workbench or workshop. In addition, the makeshift armory skill can be used instead of combat or dexterity to fight. Okay. All weapons created with the skill will have the non-removable bulky quality and become unusable at the end of the first fight in which they are used. So I might actually change combat and...
Yeah, you don't need it.
Ooh, yeah.
As long as you use something you build, you don't need it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then I might upgrade.
We're ready to go into combat. Are you ready to go, Sid? Looking down at your hand. I gotta build something, and then I go, nope. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Actually, you'll throw away one card, draw 5. Yeah.
What is it? How's it go? I just need to. I guess it would just be my gear skill. Yeah, I would just need a spade.
Yeah, and spade counts as 1 success. Yeah. So those are yours.
And I will figure out another skill.
Oh, you still only got 5. Okay. Yeah. And
so
Chris.
I'll figure something out.
I did 6 skills. I have empathy and manipulation, appearance, dexterity, and then I took 2 of my gear skills. I took advanced medicine with each architect is a doctor and a surgeon, enabling you to apply the basics of generic medications, diagnosing, prescribing therapies, and practicing first aid. This skill also allows you to remove traumas.
Yes, it does.
And I also took societal esteem. The engineer is a skill. But I'm an architect.
Yeah, it's the same. We both have the same skill.
They cut
Okay.
paste
Yeah,
it,
the skills kind of
They
overlap
copy
with each other.
pasted and didn't check.
Mhm.
Wow.
The architect is a
Yeah.
skilled technocrat, and their position allows them to move within the bureaucracy of the citadel. They are also able to exploit their office in the city and in locations faithful to the scientific empire.
Yep. So you can abuse your power. That's a skill.
Yeah.
And that is, that's so funny. I kind of pride myself on catching stuff like that, and I did not catch that it was copy pasted, that it's the same. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, because survival is there for
Sur-
Technosopher and Technofin.
Oh,
and
could
then
somebody
there was
check
one
it
that
and see
matched,
if they copy pasted that one too?
and
if
then there
they
was
both
one
say
that matched between
Technosifer?
me and
I'm sorry,
Bison
for
we're just
sure.
being mean. This is let's stop. Let's
Survival.
not look that up.
No, survival just says this skill allows you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They got lucky there.
My
They saved
inner
themselves.
pedant just wants to be a dick, and I don't need to do that right now. So so let's not. Okay. So that is your skills. You got your sixth one. I heard a muttering.
Engineering design.
That makes sense, yeah.
Basically, I understand. Well, let me just bring up the skill I was playing with.
And
my
what I'm going to
stats.
do for you guys, I made myself a note. These skills, because they're challenging to read on the sheet, I'm going to, if you can PM me which ones you took, I'm going to put them in roll 20 so you can have them open on a tab in there and actually see them.
Yeah. Engineering design is every problem has a solution. The engineer is able to study, design, and repair the most complex mechanical works, as well as understand the functioning of unknown or very newly designed objects and be able to use them. I am Mr. Fix-It.
The one caveat with that is current technology, right? You're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
the technosopher who's good with old stuff. So you can build anything with what you're MacGyver, Florence.
I'm tech support.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
I
the
might
IT
change
guy.
the voice then, because this could actually be pretty funny if I go with a more of a tech priest voice.
All right.
Yeah.
So everybody got their 5+ or 6, I think. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Mhm.
Now let's do characteristic
sure I
points.
do it
Now that
right.
you know where you're focused, this now makes sense. You've got 20 points to spend in those 4 categories: flesh, steel, steam, and gear. No skill can be below 3. No skill can start above 8.
Making sure I have all the right number of cards.
So I've got an idea for you, Kev.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So seeing as you're, let's say you have, like, for example, my Steam, I've got 3 skills in there.
Yep.
That are kind of, what do you call it? Trained.
Yep.
That allows me to pull 2 cards for
Yep.
this, for whenever I make those skills.
Mm-hmm.
So realistically, it might be better to put that lower than put the other ones higher.
Yep.
That's
Because their
play
suits
there.
is one way to make successes, but you don't have to play cards in this suit. If you play any 2 cards that add up to over 8, you have created a success. If one or more of those also happens to be of the suit that's useful, that's another success. So the idea is you want to generate at least 2 or 3 successes to do most things, because everything has consequences. So you want to put at least 1 on succeeding. You might have to do this multiple times, but you want to put at least 1 on succeeding, offset a couple of consequences, depending on how many there are. And then if you have any left over, you can use them to do stuff that we're going to talk about in a little bit. Because once this is done, all the stuff is weapons and gear, and then we're going to go do a simple.
I need to figure out how to make notes on my character sheet.
Yeah. All I would do is actually put it in description. That's a big
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
that's what
a
I've been
fairly
doing.
large text block.
And then however many you put in the thing is how many cards you add to your deck, right?
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. So if you took an 8, take the ace to 8 in that suit. Aces are low in this game. They're 1s. So when you're done all of that, you should have 2 of you should have 22 cards in your deck, and 2 of you should have 24.
My cards are not in order, so I have to sift through them all. Oh no.
I sent a note about this.
I
I'm
did that
sorry.
too. Don't worry. I'm going to change this stat. Oh crap! Now I have to go through my entire deck.
I think the last time I played with this deck, I played Solitaire, so they were already all in order.
This is the first time this deck's been used for anything. So
Same.
I love my. Actually, yeah. I'm going to show the people at home.
Oh,
My
this
Space
these are
Invader
so
deck.
cool.
They
That's
They're
what
so
you
cool.
see.
Ding dang place.
You go,
Yeah.
my opponents can tell. Bugger
No,
all.
they can't.
They
Tell
cannot
bugger all.
see
They
what
can
your
still see
cards
through
say.
it, but they can't. Oh, that just.
It's
They
so
can just see me
cool.
making faces at them.
Just,
Yeah.
yeah. Just. I told you I had 4 aces. I didn't say you didn't have 4 aces. I said you cheated. Oh, see now I want you to play poker with those cards, but I want to wear polarized sunglasses because I'll bet you'd be sitting there turning your head trying to match the polarization to see the other side of the card.
Well, it's only printed on one side, so
Yeah. But I'm betting that's polarized plastic. So if you've matched up because polarized is just it only lets light in one plane, right?
no, it's perforated. Like it's not like actually perforated.
It's
I'm
like the
showing Kevin's screen, but I'm
It's
not
a
showing the
diffraction
camera.
grating, yeah.
So it's like little clear dots.
Yes. Oh, so it's like
And
the bus
then-
window things that you can see through from inside. Yeah, but
Yeah,
from
and
blocked away
then
looks solid.
and then the spaces in between are what's colored.
Yes.
Now he knows the secret.
Yeah, that's how
Super
they.
cool.
Yeah, that's the. And I immediately saw the tech that they use on buses, right? It
Mhm.
covers the windows from the outside, but from inside you can see out. Anyway, everybody got their deck built?
Oh, sorry.
Let me know. No, sorry. It was a
I have a
question, not an
medium-
order.
I have a medium-sized deck.
Whatever.
It's technically in this deck, it's either a large or a small one.
7. There we go.
I'll give you a little bit of a break here.
22. Let's see.
Somebody's going to make the joke, so no unsolicited deck picks, please.
Too late in our
Already wants to
chat.
see
We
my
already
deck.
did. We already showed a bunch later. Yeah,
Yeah.
earlier. That's what I meant.
3.
Time operates in a different direction for me.
Yeah. So we got a spot from Charis. That's good.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished.
I have 26 in here. That's not right.
That's
is it?
right. That's not right.
You-
That's
Nope.
wrong.
That's not right.
You should
Whoops.
have a joker. You should have a joker, 3 face cards, and 20 lower cards.
No,
Can I
no.
read what's written on my Joker?
You absolutely can.
Please.
All right.
Does it require a
pair.
content warning?
No, it's just Monty Python goofiness.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
The pear, a crunchy fruit, not an apple. The 2 pair, one more pair than a single pair. The 3 pair, only a rumor. The actual existence of this hand is doubtful, though conspiracy theories abound. The full house, sometimes guests will refuse to leave. In this case, beat them about the head with your pairs until they give in, then kick them out the door. The suits, try not to get pear juice on your own. Gin rummy, to wash down the pears.
Yep. That is a Monty Python card for sure. Somebody put some true effort into that.
Good deck.
Yes.
Ugh, the Monty Python art is so weird.
I'm waiting for. Is it the Terry
Yeah.
Gilliam art?
Yeah.
I'm assuming, yeah. I'm waiting for Phil to figure out what he did.
Oh, I think
there
I
it
might
is.
know what
Look
I
at the
did here.
timing. Look at the timing.
Yeah, I think I just realized I went up to let's say I had 4 in flesh, which I do.
Yeah.
Spoilers alert. I went up to 4. Wait, no, that still should make sense.
That
No,
should,
mind.
yep. You went over
King,
somewhere.
queen, jack, joker. Okay, let's see.
You got the big 4, right? 3 face cards and a joker. All right.
Yeah.
Count the rest
3.
of the cards. Don't even look at them. You should have 20.
3.
If you've got 22 somehow.
3.
First, make sure you've got 22. I bet you there's 20 in this pile. I bet you he's got it right all along. We won't make you tell people what you do for a living. It's heavily math involved. I'm going to give them that.
What am I supposed to have?
20 plus the 4. So 24 total as a king, as a player of a king.
It just happened. I went down 1 to 25, but I don't know how. Oh no, guys.
Okay,
I
Or
you
promise.
you count. We'll move on.
Yes,
you
you
can
guys move
catch up.
on. You guys
Next is gear. We're practically done. Weapons and gear. Gear itself starts on page 208 in the book, 209 if you're in the file.
That's why.
If you scroll down a couple pages, you'll see a whole section that's from Venice. We're not in Venice. You can't have any. So the first 2 pages you can
Not
have,
important.
first 3 pages you can have. Next on the 4th page down, page 211, it says
Venetian
exclusive
market.
to the
yeah.
Venetian market. Can't have that stuff.
Market.
I have 24.
There you go.
Oh, they just sell drugs in Venice.
Yeah. Well, that's the story that goes with that is
Yeah, Chris can make you
different
drugs.
places solve the problem in different ways.
Okay.
Here solved it with the constructs. Venice was much more about keeping their small population alive and healthy, and so they developed all these drugs to do that.
Are we
Oh.
gonna go over the item qualities?
Yes, absolutely. Yep, we're going to
Okay.
do that. I just wanted to make sure nobody started
what was the
getting
page?
all drooly about the stuff that they weren't going to have. So, yeah. What was that, Phil?
What was the page?
Type in 209 into the Adobe document. It's actually page 208.
Perfect market.
But yeah.
Yep.
All right.
So do we have to like buy some of the stuff that we want to start with, or
You the stuff that's listed in your character, your archetype, you get that stuff for free, and that's basically what you start with.
okay, that's what I thought.
Now the qualities, there's a cheat sheet for them, but the idea here again is that every one of these items has at least one quality. Most of them have more. Some of them have many more. Each of those qualities affects something about it. So there are things like slow, which means it takes a full round to activate them. I just looked at the first one. It's a lantern. So slow takes time. If you want to see those, what all of them are, in fact, I'm going to go to them now. 218 is the cheat sheet for this whole book.
Page 18?
218.
218.
218.
Yeah, it's 217 in the book, 218 in the Acrobat PDF.
Searchable.
The equipment tags.
Oh, that's nice.
So yes, they're all there.
Helpful.
Things, I'm not going to go over all of them because there's a ton of them. But you'll notice they've
Yeah.
also got positive, negative, or both signs beside them. Positive ones do positive things. Negative ones do negative things. What's a negative quality? Heavy. It's hard to move. Fixed. You can't move it. One-time use. You can only use it once and then it ceases functioning. Slow. It's the effects apply on the next turn. So that lantern, you light it this turn, it doesn't work until next turn. That also applies to things like heavy crossbows. It's that reload time, right? So yeah, write down the things that you've got. And again, this is probably, I'm looking at this. I'm going to put those tags. This cheat sheet will go in Roll20, so we've got access to it as a page to bring up. But yeah, start with the stuff that you've actually got, and then if you want to fill in a couple of sort of cheap things for a couple of florins, then yeah, but you haven't got much money. That's why you're
Okay.
kind of desperate.
That's why we're here.
It's yeah.
So my medical bag says rechargeable and then it says 2. I'm guessing that means it has 2 charges.
Exactly. You can
And then
use
we
it
have to
twice, then you would
find-
have to go
yeah.
and buy recharges for it or find them somewhere. In your
Okay.
case, all you have to do is go to the Citadel of Science. They value human life so very much that they will recharge you for free. So as long as you're in Florence, all you ever have to do is go to the Citadel.
What about detective kit?
Florence or yeah, Florence. Sorry.
Yeah,
I was
that's where you are, is
thinking-
Florence. Detective kit, same thing. You
Mission.
just have to go to the militia station. If you start going through 20 of them and you're not on an official investigation, they might start to ask why.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are available. If nothing else, you can buy them. The detective kit's not that much, I don't think. The recharge for it.
Yeah, I'm not seeing either of my gear pieces. That's just because there's nothing special about
Are you
them.
looking in gear or armory?
I'm looking at gear.
So that
Where's
was
armory?
They're
215.
probably in armory.
Your weapons are down a couple pages.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, armory starts on 214
215.
slash 215.
Okay, there we go. That's
That's your actual
specialist
weapons, and
protector.
again, they also all have the they also have qualities as well. Yeah, your
Yeah,
forge
they
hammer
do.
is automatic. You just hold it, and it goes bang, 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 bang. Yeah.
Last question here.
Go
I
to
think
sleep,
we
go to
answered
sleep,
this
go to sleep.
before, but I had
Yeah.
forgotten. The like the skills that you get through your gear skills that you do not take as
Yep.
like trained, you're still able to do them. It's just because they're not
One
trained,
card.
they're not
Yeah, exactly.
card.
You can do them. You
Oh,
only can
got
use one
you.
card. So yeah, you're just not skilled at them. So yeah, that. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, they're not useless. They're like every other skill. Any skill that you don't have, you roll one card.
Cool.
Oh, which brings up an interesting question. Could you upgrade a skill you didn't choose?
Ooh.
Like use what you've got to upgrade your perception to get the extra die or the extra card, which would take you up to 2 cards instead of 1, and save that skill for another spot.
I feel like that's not the spirit of the game.
Yeah, I know, but like this part of this whole process, right, is finding all these little synergies, like the one that I knew was here, and I like games that have that where they have a positive and a negative that can offset each other.
Oh, okay, so that's what that means. So, wait,
And-
what?
And again, so
Hold on.
once we're done tonight, actually, I realize how we're gonna have to do this. Once we're done tonight, PM me your sheet, a copy of your sheet, and I'll put all the relevant stuff into Roll20, so that each of you will only see what's on your own sheet.
Okay, question for specialist, because of
Yes.
the Citadel leather apron, it says specialist societal esteem. Specialist says only a character with qualifying skill, jack, queen, or wild card can use the object. Does that mean I have to have societal esteem as one of my checked skills in order to use it? Or does that just mean
Sorry, read
You have to be of that class.
read it again.
Yeah.
Mine has that too.
Yeah. Oh no, you just have to
Um,
be of the class. Specialist just means you have
okay.
to be of that class. Sorry. Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
For,
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Robin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it seemed to my reading it implied that you needed to actually have fucking
Yeah, the
a
wording
skill
was
to use it.
confusing.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
But
Where's
yes.
the Citadel apron? Oh,
It's
found
in
it.
gear.
It's an armory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or armory, not gear.
That's
Protected.
why
Nice.
is oh yeah, because it's protective 1, so yeah, it absorbs the first trauma.
First
I think it
consequence.
is.
Or
Let me
first
look.
con.
Let me look. Let me not guess. Let me look.
Armor.
What the hell is it called?
Reduces the value of each exhaustion consequence by 1.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
Ooh.
exhaustion is the most common consequence you're going to face. In fact, pretty much every list of consequences starts with exhaustion. What it is you have to throw out a number of cards equal to the consequences of this encounter after you're done. So if you don't offset it by using a success to offset that, you'll have to do that. But with that ability, you'd have to throw 1 less. So if it had a trauma of 2, you'd only have to throw away 1.
Oh, by the way, I lost Whamageddon a while ago.
I lost it. Where the shit was I? I think it was 2 days ago. I was shopping. Oh crap!
I lost
pissed me off.
Whamageddon before I even knew about Whamageddon.
It's been a couple of years now, but the day I was standing in the grocery store and instead of music, I actually heard well, first there's 2 of them. It's about 10 years ago I heard the Muzak version of a Metallica song in the store. And a couple of years ago, I heard the Metallica song in the store because they play like actual music now. It's not Muzak anymore. Yeah. And all I can say is the manager of the Save On Foods down the road for me is about my age. That's all I'm going to say.
Which song was it?
I bop when I shop. Not one of the really dark ones, but it was, it's Metallica, right?
Yeah,
I don't remember specifically what. I just remember
probably
thinking,
Whiskey in a Jar.
really? Oh man.
The one I always hear on the radio that's like, why is this on this station, is usually Whiskey in a Jar.
Yeah. I
Ah,
don't like
you know,
whiskey in a jar.
I heard a Hawaiian remix of the Final Countdown.
I need to hear that.
It had like the. It,
You
it
need to
was
post that in
so
the chat.
jarring. I'll have to try to find it.
You have to.
But it
find
was. I was
that's-
shopping at like.
That's so
my local
awful.
pharmacy.
I have to hear it.
So let me know when you got your gear and weapons done, because that's it. That's we're
Mhm.
finished.
So we don't pick anything out other than the 2 pieces we got at the start.
Just the stuff that you come with
Okay.
for now. Yeah.
double
I
checking.
saw that as the mechanic of how it starts, so I have, needless to say, those of you that have played with me before know I'm terrible with treasure. I never leave to the point where nobody loots the bodies in any of my games anymore. Nobody even says the sentence, I loot the bodies
Hey,
anymore.
Brandon does.
Yeah.
Hey, the two wizards in Wednesday game.
Yeah,
That's true.
me and Brandon we do in Wednesday game.
Yeah, but you're only ever looking for the spell book, so
it's true.
Well, and necromancer thing.
yeah. Oh yes,
Mhm.
of course. But that's it. Once you guys have got all the stuff in there, just let me know, and we can actually get over to doing a. I think it's already some.
May I add a hand lantern to my sheet?
Yes, yeah, something like that. At least one of you, because nobody has got dark vision in this game. Yay!
You mean I don't have a Tablet and Lucidum? That's
You
a
went
science
through it.
joke.
You enter into
No.
a dark cave. I have dark vision.
You enter
No,
into a
you
gray
don't.
cave.
You enter into a brightly lit prairie. Does anyone have blinding light vision?
Yes, that's one of my favorite gags I've ever seen.
A blindingly light prairie in the winter.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yes.
In the
say
wind, snow blindness.
Oh,
that's no joke. Fuck that. Oh,
Well, that's that insult to
Sorry.
injury. You come out of a dark tunnel, and before your eyes can adjust from your dark vision, you are hit by. You don't even get a save. You just snowblind. That's all that is. You're done.
Hit by a wall of oh god.
Yeah. So only 2 of you are in the Roll20 game.
oh, right. I forgot I was supposed to do that.
Dun dun dun.
I am a player. I swear to fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
Where are we here?
I'll bet
thought I
you.
was.
I'm betting at least one of you doesn't even have the link yet. It's pinned in Discord. Well, you guys try and cover that. We'll move on. For the 2 of
It's
you,
not pinned in Discord. It just has the link to the Roll20 game.
that's what you're clicking on.
I
That's
know,
what I've
but
asked you
it
to.
doesn't actually have the link. It's just the message that says the link to the Roll20 game.
There's 2 links. One of them is the game. The other one is the character
Check
sheet.
the pin message.
I
Check
did
the pin
earlier
message.
because I went to it and I accidentally went to the wrong one and did the thing.
Because
No, the link to the Roll20 game is not pinned.
It just says.
well,
the
I mean,
link
you
to
could
the
jump
Roll20
to that
game.
message. And
Yeah,
then
You
you
can
can.
jump to it, yeah.
It's totally the next
Yeah.
message down, but that's half
Oh.
the joke.
Okay. Well, there you go.
half the battle.
I'm only half an idiot. As long as you can find it. There you go. I put it in. I knew I put it in there. I just didn't copy paste it up to the pinned bit. Ha ta. This is why I need all the talented and organized people around me that I have to keep me from doing this more often than I do. Oh man.
I was like, oh, I
I
didn't
make-
shuffle my cards.
I make
I was like,
5
oh, yeah.
organized people crazy on a weekly basis. It is my greatest shame in this whole organization is that 5 of you are very, very organized and you run around behind me going, "Oh, for God's sake, Kevin!"
So yeah, I
so-
was like, oh, my cards aren't shuffled, and then I realized I have 11 clubs.
Yeah, that's problematic. Yep.
Yeah. So
Oh, you took all. Are all 3 of your
all
face
3 of my
cards
face
are
cards
clubs?
clubs. Mm-hmm.
Whew, that took a while to sink in. Wow.
Yeah.
You are a one-trick pony. All right. So, the screen that you're looking at now has some boxes across the top. That's where we're going to put the bad guys. You should be able to grab the player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4 things and drag them about. I hope. Actually, no, you probably can't. Never mind. I take that back. You can move those, though. I said that so you guys can set up your own. So each one of those boxes that says adversary is where we're going to put surprise, an adversary or encounter. So just to give you an example, the kind of the lowest sort of slug you're going to meet in this game, they call him a brigand, but it's just sort of the lowest expected card set you're ever going to see.
The Mook
is 2 up and 2 down.
The Galumba.
Yeah, game choice. Your game choice of choice. What this means, and we're going to say, let's set up 2 of them because I want to show you how the whole mechanic works. So you meet. Let's do this. 2 idiots try and mug you in the alley. All 4 of you are walking through, and 2 idiots try and mug you. If you look over here on the right hand side, the face up cards, this Joker face, that's how much damage it takes to get rid of them. You don't kill people in this game, really. It's extremely bad form, and I mean, like, even the craziest of the crazy hardly kill people. Life is just too not sanctimonious, wrong word.
Sacrosanct.
Sacrosanct. That's the one I was looking for. Thank you.
Sacred.
But this is knocking people out of the fight. This is what it takes to knock them out of the fight. It's the equivalent of your exhaustion, except that when they run out of cards, they run away or quit or give up.
Or pass
That's
out.
the face-up cards. The face-down cards serve 2 purposes. They are how much trauma they take. This isn't their damage. This is their actual trauma. So if you actually do damage to them, if you choose to do injuries to them with your successes, which we'll get to in a minute, it'll take that many trauma to actually take them out. That is problematic potentially because you could kill them. We'll have to figure out exactly what happens in each individual case, but trauma is maybe not a good way to go. But those face down cards also represent the number of consequences you face every time you engage with one of them of your own volition and every time they attack you back. I don't place any cards other than what I've done so far. On your turn, you play cards to attack, and on their turn, you play cards to defend yourselves. So, you see them coming because we're going to give you guys the benefit of the doubt here. And we're going to do this. We're going to mark these. I've got them down below instead of at the top, but that's okay. We'll just put them there and there. So these 2 cards, we've marked fatigue and injury. What that means is the consequences. When you attack them, you're going to generate a number of successes. The first success you generate has to be a success. It has to get rid of one of the face-up cards. From that point on, it's entirely up to you what you do with your successes. If you see on the sheet just underneath where it says Adversary 4, there's a little table. So spend your successes on. So besides success, you can do the most common one. We're going to start at the bottom is annulment. That eliminates one of these consequences. So you don't have to deal with that consequence. It stays there, but you don't have to deal with it. It doesn't actually get rid of the card. That's something I did wrong before. Actually, no. Yes, that is correct. Yeah. You get rid of the other cards. When you get rid of if you get rid of these 2 cards over here, then one of these cards disappears. But those are the 2 you have to offset. I'm gonna have to look into that. I'm not 100 now that I'm looking at this again. I've done this like 10 times already, and all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, was I doing it right?
Because you're on stream now.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna play it the way I played it, which is when you eliminate this consequence, we're gonna remove the card from the plate so that you guys can stack up on somebody and multiply remove consequences. So first thing we're gonna do, because you guys saw them, is does everybody got a hand? Draw 6 cards. Get your hand built.
Just do a quick shuffle.
For now, we're gonna do Robin as player 1, Chris as player 2, Bison as player 3, and Phil as player 4. Yeah.
Quick question. Is it immediately when I get a king? Do I have to do
Yes,
something?
like bang, right? Like at the very start. That's the first thing we're gonna start. Once everybody gets their cards drawn and this
Oh
encounter
no,
starts,
we're
when I
off
say
to
this
a
starts,
great start.
But you guys have to tell me first. So that'll be the very first card you play. So you see them. This is how this works. Oh, we got to do the four things, right? You can eliminate a consequence. You can also choose to take consequences if you wish. An injury is a trauma in the appropriate field. Fatigue is throwing away cards, whatever they are. You can choose to take them. You can also spend a success on persistence, where you break something, you shoot you break a lock on a fence or something like that, or you cause trauma rather than trying to cause fatigue. You're actually trying to hurt them. Persistence does that. You can burn a success on accuracy, which inflicts a condition like lame or blind or deafened, something like that. Uh, or you can leave no trace. So if you needed like shoot the power button off of a steam locomotive without anybody seeing that the button like it just looks like it's been pushed, you would burn a success to accomplish that. An extension is twofold. You can either add range or you can add a target. So you can by extending something, you can say my crossbow bolt, I use one to succeed and one to extend. I don't care. I'll take the consequences. And the response to that is, yeah, the crossbow bolt goes through the first guy. He takes the damage and goes into the second guy. And they take the damage too. Those all make sense? So you always have to choose in this game. This is where you start with 100% information, because I tell you, and I have to do this as long as you guys start the encounter. I tell you what face-up card, like how many face-up cards there are, how many face-down cards, and what they represent before you even start. So, during an action, as it says in our little chart here, express your character's intentions. First of all, there's two of them coming out of the alley. There's four of you. Who's going where? Before you, two cards that have to be played. Perfect. Two king. You both drew a king in the first round. Oh, dramatic lesson learned. So before this even starts, king of, what was that? King of spades?
Clubs was mine.
Clubs.
I
So
got a
that's
king of clubs
gear.
too.
You both got gear issues. Let's start
Clubs
with
is
your
steam.
flaw. Robin, what is
Clubs is
your,
steam.
yeah, or
Clubs
Steam,
is
sorry,
Steam.
yes, Steam. So what is that flaw?
That is
Is that the
headaches.
sort of, oh, the headaches. Okay, yeah. And
Yeah,
what was it
yeah.
for you, Phil? That was
Psychosis.
the psychosis. Okay. So how does that affect? Yeah, headaches makes kind of sense. Let's start with that. How does that prevent you from doing anything this first round?
Can't focus.
Yep, fair enough. So you don't get to engage. That makes perfect sense. Phil?
With the psychosis, this time it'll come up as we're facing brigands.
Yep.
I'm assuming.
Just two sort of muggers in the alley. It's dark.
Maybe
They
a
could
lot
be
of
anybody. Yeah.
a lot of voices just saying that the brigands, they're decent, they're okay, don't do anything, they're
Yeah.
not gonna hurt you, they're
Is that-
fine.
Is that Fred? Is that Fred and Barney? Is that Fred and Barney? Oh no, that's a fiction. yeah, so yeah, you miss it there. Absolutely. I love it. See,
These guys are fine.
so discard those kings. You guys start this now. You guys start this round by skipping the first round, and you've already only got 5 cards in your hand.
Yep.
See how resource
Awesome.
management becomes a thing? Now, the other two, you get to do stuff this round. Before you play a card, what is your intent? And you can go in whichever order you like. It's initiative is entirely up to you,
Okay.
because you started this.
Just asking for the sake of my
Yes, this
the
is where
skill
we're doing
here.
this. Yep.
When I have to spend my first action basically making the weapon correct for makeshift armory.
That's something you would have done before you came here. So you would have, I'm going to give, for the purposes of this, because in a game, you'd wake up in the morning, it's like mage armor, right? You wake up in the morning, you make your weapon, right? So we're going to say you've got it for this purposes.
Okay.
And you've had a rest since then, so you got your cards back.
Okay.
Just go ahead and use it.
So my intent is to basically take a swing at the first guy and show him that a man with a very large pipe is not to be messed with.
Yes, is man with a power hammer, or is this the pipe?
This is the improvised. The forge hammer does not actually have the harmful quality.
Okay.
I cannot hurt people with it. I can make stuff with it.
Okay, that's cool.
But
Be
Yeah.
softly and
So,
carry
yeah.
a big stick.
Well, the thing is,
Yep.
because you also need you also need a place to do it. So you could technically leave your hammer behind and open up that inventory slot.
yeah, that's true. Makeshift armory, I don't need
Oh,
anything.
it's makeshift, right? It's the other one. Yeah.
But for construction, I would.
Okay. So you intend to go over here and attack them in a melee type fashion, right?
Yes,
That is
I'm
your statement. So
looking to
Yeah.
dissuade these brigands.
right. And Chris, again, technically, I have to step in here too. Technically, I wouldn't have showed you the cards yet, right? I would just say there's two brigands in the alley. This is what I intend to do. Chris, what do you intend to do?
I intend to try and dodge them.
Okay. So I'm going to put you over here in an empty spot for adversary 3. You're just gonna bolt and head down an alley somewhere,
Um,
or get behind them.
like get behind them.
Okay. Which one?
Number 2.
Okay. So, I mean, there's no real advantage for behind, so I'm just going to put you over here as engaged with this one, right? So, yeah, you can
Thought I
sneak.
was player 2.
You are. Dun, 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 dun. There you go. All right, player 2. So, yes, you sneak around behind because they don't ever really talk about movement in this game much. It's just kind of happens. So
What do you do?
I love it. Narrative movement. You had to sneak to do that though, right? You got a skill to do such a thing?
I have dexterity.
Okay, so give me a dexterity play. You have dexterity as a skill, so you can play 2 cards.
Yes.
If they add up to 8 or more, that's 1 success. If either or both of them is a what's dexterity under? Is that Steam?
Yeah,
Diamonds?
so it's clubs.
Clubs,
Yeah.
whatever it is. I really
So-
have to make a cheat sheet for this. I just can't make those stick in my head for characteristics.
If
So
both of them are
I'm going to play.
If they both are of that suit, they're both successes. That would count as
Okay.
1 each.
so you could theoretically get 3 successes.
Oh yeah. You could
No,
technically
I-
get 4 if you
I
played.
don't have any clubs, but I have
Yeah.
2 4s.
Okay, so 2 4s played together is an 8. So that's 1 success. You would now know that. All right. So you say, I'm going to do this, knowing that you had 2 4, that's all you had in your hand. And then I expose this, and then you see that there's 2 and 2 on each of them. I now say to you, do you want to continue? If you don't, for free, you get to change what you're doing this round. So say you had run into here and suddenly I put down like 5 and 4, right? It's 2 soldiers on a lunch break. And you just, what do you want to do? Turn around and walk away like we didn't know they were here? So yeah, you have that option in this game.
Yeah.
So now that you've declared your intentions, do you intend to follow through? Sid. I'll call you by character name
Oh,
because you
Sid,
gave me
yeah,
one.
Sid first.
All right. Sid does intend to follow through.
Okay.
He's going to play a 6 of spades, which is an automatic success,
Yeah.
and a 2 of diamonds to bring him to an 8. So he's got 2 successes.
2 successes. Excellent. What would you like to do with those 2 successes? The first one has to get rid of that. Right?
So get rid of that there. Okay.
Yeah. So we're getting rid of that.
And then the second success, I think I want to get rid of the injury card. Is that how that works?
Yep, absolutely. So this
Or
one-
could I alternately take his other
yes,
wound
yes.
and just knock him out of the fight entirely?
You will, but you will take both consequences
We'll take both consequences.
this round, and then they're gone.
Okay, and what
This
does
is where
injury
this
do?
game gets
And
interesting.
what does injury do?
It would be a
Remind me,
trauma,
please.
and in this case, it would be a trauma in your physical stat because he's trying to, as you're trying to hit him, he's trying to hit you.
Okay.
So your first trauma's free. It doesn't like there's no penalties for it,
Mhm.
and it's the easiest one to
First
heal.
injury is free.
Yeah, and it's the
Yay.
easiest one to heal because it only requires 1 success from your healer to fix it.
Yeah. Then I will.
For those that play Axis and Allies, this is your battleship. You get 1 hit for
Yeah.
free. This is the second one that sinks you.
He's gonna get a bonk. Yep. I'm gonna
Okay,
just
so you're
straight
gonna-
up crank him in the head.
All right,
He's
so
gonna-
you're going to hit him
The
twice
honk.
and
He's
leave
getting a
both of
bonk,
those.
yep.
So the fatigue you take is his challenge rating, so or his challenge here,
If-
his trauma. So you take 2 fatigue. So throw away 2 cards, your choice.
Okay.
and take 1 injury, 1 trauma in the physical stat.
In flesh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris, this will get much more automatic as we go along, but that's why we're doing this tonight. And the first couple episodes are going to be exactly like this. Can I, should I, would I, all of that. It's a brand new system.
Yeah.
So what are you doing?
Oh, sorry, another question.
Yeah.
I drew a Joker. Since that's the opposite of the king, how does that work?
Joker's an automatic success if you play it.
Okay. If I play it. Okay.
Yeah. It's an if you play it. Yeah.
I'm going to change my intention.
Yep.
And I'm going to because you said they ambushed us from like a side alley, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
I'm going to fall back into that side alley and watch because I'm not super tough, so I'm reserving myself for healing.
Okay. You could, again, because of the way this game works, you could very easily run up and he's taken 1 damage. You see he's bleeding. You could easily run up and boom, and then run away.
That is true.
This is, think, when it comes to movement in this game, think Marvel movies, DC movies, like you're just where you need to get to.
It's narrative.
Yeah. Unless it's like I
Yeah.
run a 1/4 mile in 5 steps, you know.
Well, I'm trying to remember if I actually can do instant heals or if I have to
play.
take time.
No, it's a play, just like anything else. You run up
It's a
to
play?
him, you
Okay.
poof, and then you run away. Yep.
I have the advanced medicine.
Yep. So you
Um
pick 2 cards if you like.
so and my med bag gives me an extra success.
So it's free.
So
It's an extra
auto-
success. So but you have to generate 1 success.
that's a good point. Let me see if that's a club.
So in a game, I understand exactly what you're doing now, but in a game format at this moment, you'd be thinking, it's better if I let him take another one, because then I get both. Then he gets both, right?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, yeah. Like, I'm gonna hang back.
Yeah. So yeah, you just hold back and wait. Perfect. So that would be now it's their turn. The 2 of you that are engaged with them, they're going to fight back. So this one, he does get the rest of his round. So the one coming after you, Sid, you've got you've got these 2 consequences to try and offset. You can only play annulments when you're reacting like this. See how many cards you go through in a round?
Yeah.
By your round, fatigue, and then their round. Yeah.
So I'll play my Joker to annul the injury.
Yeah.
And
That's good.
then I now get to do the
The fatigue.
my
Okay. So
my jack
it is now
solo
because you did that. It's live, so it's only fatigue 1. Do you have a card left?
I did.
Okay. So as long as if you take more fatigue than you've currently got cards, you take a trauma.
Okay.
So if you
So
only had
I
2
don't-
cards and you took 3 fatigue, that would be a trauma.
So I don't get cards until my next one.
Well, do you have a card left in your hand?
I currently do not.
You currently do not. Okay, you're kind of stuck then, because the way to get cards back here. Let me make absolutely sure I've got this right.
This is the part I got confused.
Yeah, catch your breath technically is 1 round of combat. Discard 1 card and draw until your hand is full. So you don't have a card, but you have to make a play. When you have to make a play, you draw blind from the deck. So draw 1 card from the deck, discard it, and then draw up to your 6. Does that make sense? Because there's a chance you could throw away like a good card, like an important card, right?
Yeah. Well,
But if
I get
he's blind, doesn't he have something for that?
I have navigated. I can draw 2, and then put 1 back.
Oh yes, okay. So yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so there you go. Right. So yeah, draw 2, throw the weaker one away, shuffle the other one back in the deck, and then draw up to 6.
Okay, so
That is the new rule. That's why we're doing this, because I have to learn too. That's a very good point. Yeah. What happens when
So
you?
yeah. So then that dark ability helps you get to basically make the choice on which card you get to discard.
That makes sense. And then, at the end of that guy's turn, he's now gone. So, all gone.
So
So-
my next turn is spent.
Yep.
Catching a breath.
You have, well, technically on your next turn, you would draw that one of those cards, throw it away, and then draw your 6, and that's your
Yeah.
next turn.
Okay. So
Which means, actually, the other 3 of you have missed your turn. So what did the 3 of you want to do? You've already skipped your round, right?
So
Chris
then the
went.
second guy gonna go?
Oh, yes. Right. Sorry. Second guy's attacking Chris's character. So you have 2 consequences to try and offset. He's coming at you, trying to fatigue you and injure you.
Okay.
And yes, physician, you can heal thyself.
and we get 2 cards
Can't
to
split it.
play on a when we're resisting or whatever.
If you have the
Reacting?
resistance skill, then
Or well, when we're reacting.
when you're reacting, no, it's 1 card. You play out of your hand, but it's 1 card to eliminate each.
Okay.
1
yeah,
success
we'll
for
take that.
each. Yeah, sorry. I see exactly where you went, because suddenly it got really confused in my head before it got really clear. 1 card, 1 consequence. So yeah, 1
Okay.
success, 1 consequence. Yeah.
Okay.
But how many cards we got to play is still just 1.
You can play in annulling. You can play as many as you want out of your hand. Your hand, the hand limit
Okay.
is that's where I froze. It's like, wait a minute, no, you can play them all if you want,
Oh,
Okay.
jeez.
Can I choose to like?
and you choose which one, because you guys started this, so you choose which one to eliminate. If you only eliminate 1,
Well, peek behind the screen. I don't
Yeah.
have anything that will get me to an 8.
you don't have 2 cards that would get you to an 8.
Nope.
Okay.
So can I like?
What about suit?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Or oh, suit.
Is they're going for flesh, aren't they? So hearts.
Okay, they're going for flesh, but I would like to use my societal esteem,
Okay.
and I'm gonna use. I have 2 club cards,
Yep.
so that's 2 successes,
Yep.
Spade.
and I am going to. Can I eliminate both of the consequences?
I'd like.
How are you using your societal esteem though?
Yeah, I got an
yeah,
idea,
sorry.
but you tell me. Yeah. I got an idea, but yeah, you tell me. You're wearing your apron. You are clearly a member of the Citadel. These arseholes are trying to mug you. What do you do?
I would like to basically.
I cast full Karen.
I'd like to say something along the lines of, you are about to injure an esteemed member of the Citadel. You will face the full force of their retaliation should you continue.
Absolutely, and you
Don't
also,
you know who I am?
You bring up and you bring up.
Let
That's
me
basically what
speak
it
to
was.
your manager.
But you bring up an exceptionally good point, and thank you for asking that question. If you can tell me what characteristic you're using, you get to use those cards. So if you can keep bringing it back to your strengths, and you've got a handful of those, then yes. So brilliant, absolutely, exactly. The guy, what you did is got rid of both of these, right? So at the end, you've now done the equivalent of killing them. You have utterly removed them from this fight. They're like,
Societally.
whoa, yeah, right. You didn't see our faces, did you? Oh shit! And back into the darkness. So brilliant, absolutely.
We
I
totally
got no
thought
cards.
we thought you were a completely different group of
Yeah.
random travelers.
Yes. So yes, thank you for
You're not
doing
on-
that, because that is exactly how this game is designed to work. That you tell me how you're going to solve it and why this suit makes sense. Does that make sense to everybody? Phil, you look like you got 1,000 questions.
No, I'm just
Okay.
I'm thinking.
All right, are you thinking?
But
All
no,
right.
it makes sense.
So that
Second
yeah.
second question here. Sorry,
Mm.
I'm interrupting again.
No.
Regarding the protective, it says remove the value of each exhaustion consequence by 1.
So-
So
Instead of taking
when I
2,
got
you would have
hit-
taken 1. Yeah.
okay. So I would have taken
You would have dropped
No
one card.
consequences.
No, you would have
Is
dropped one
exhaustion
card.
the same thing as fatigue?
Yes, sorry. That's my bad. They use both words in the book. Exhaustion
son of a
causes fatigue.
bitch.
So pardon me. Fatigue is the word I should be using. Yeah.
Okay, so
And yours reduces fatigue, right?
yeah, protective
So-
1.
So yes, instead of taking 2 fatigue, you would have only dropped 1 card instead.
So I wouldn't
Which
have
would have
taken
left
any.
you.
So I wouldn't have taken any because I was only dropping 1 card. Because I took the Joker to get rid of the injury.
Right. Yes. And then that.
So I would have
you
been.
would have still had your card left. So on your next turn, you would have a.
I would have done the
It
same
wouldn't have
thing.
changed
anyways.
anything. It's just you would have had the 1 card left.
Mechanically, okay, yeah, just to understand.
But
the
again,
mechanic.
that is a great point to show the mechanic of the game and how fast it is. I mean, that was a 1 round, 1.5 rounds, and you guys are pretty much all out of cards, right?
I have 2.
2 left, yeah. And you're the healer, so you're gonna have to now you're looking around going, shit, I still gotta heal these guys, right? So I think given that it's 7:55, you guys understand
Make
the
it
mechanics now, right? Like this makes more sense than it did before.
Yeah.
Cool. It says adversary on the sheet. Of course, that can be encounter too, right? So I was thinking of another example. If you had to, I was thinking it's the equivalent of robbing a cash point, right? An ATM. So the difficulty, the damage that it would take to do it is say 4. Right? It's going to take quite a bit of damage to beat this thing up. But your consequences would be fatigue because it takes time. That's what fatigue mostly represents, is how much time it takes to do something. But your other consequence could be, we didn't really talk about those. The other consequence would be centralization, which is if you are seen and you don't counter that consequence, you become the focus in a bad way. Hey, those people are stealing the ATM. And poof, everybody focuses down. So there
Marvin
are.
the Martian?
Where's the earth shattering kaboom? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's 7 different consequences. We saw fatigue and injury. Those are drop cards and take injuries. Injury is only ever 1 trauma. It's not the number of cards that's there. Otherwise, ouch. Consumption uses something up. So you spill all the fuel out of your lantern, something like that, right? It uses up a renewable resource, or you drop your med kit to get in the fight and break 1 dose. So now it's only got 1 recharge. But again, as long as you start the fight, you know these all up front. Loss is you broke your gun, something like that. It's broken and is going to require repair or replacement. Isolation, always separate the party. Some way or another, you will become separated from the rest of the party. Stun costs you a round, which is basically what you guys have to do every time you draw a king. And centralization makes you specifically the target of all adversaries. And those will all be, we'll do the same like we did. This will be 4, some of these tough guys will have 4 face down cards, and you'll have to decide how many you want to set and how many you want to take. Not until you guys can generate those number of successes. I'm not that GM. But yeah.
No
You still have to
Tiamat
know,
in the first episode.
right? Those were the D&D equivalent of the rats in the basement, right? Those were the lowest encounter that's in the book. And you guys threw away a lot of cards and took 1 trauma in a round and a half. So
Phil and I did nothing.
yeah. Well, but at least you got the idea, I hope. But that's not true. You didn't do nothing. You discovered what it's like to have a king in your deck. That's what you did.
I chose this knowing this.
Yep, absolutely.
Same.
So I'm glad.
Kevin,
I'm glad we got to see them come up. So
I threw my explanation of how I understood the mechanic in Discord. Could you just double check to make sure I get it right? Because I don't know.
Let me see.
That's just
Where
The
is
hardest
it?
part
The
now.
rights part?
Come up with a
There we go.
name.
1 fatigue, 1 injury. I use my 1 success to negate the injury, and the protective quality of my apron would have negated the fatigue card. Yes. So I would have had 1 card left instead of having to draw blind. Correct.
so
That
those
is
of
my
us with the
interpretation
aprons.
as well.
Okay.
So I'm glad that we did it both ways. I'm glad we screwed that up, because now we know what happens when you have to do that when you have no cards and when you have a card. Because to have no cards, there is a potential consequence. Can you imagine? You've got your 8 stat is steel, and you flip that card up as the one that you have to throw away.
Oof.
and then draw 6, and you look at your hand and it's all aces, deuces, and threes. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Actually, I drew 2 aces
Oh,
when I did my blind.
I mean,
I
there's
drew
4
2
of them
aces.
in there. You've only got 22 or 24 cards, and 4 of them are aces. So yeah, they're going to come up, right? Stats wise. Chat. The face-up cards disappeared because if you eliminate either pile, the enemy is defeated, either by damage or by trauma.
You can crump them, or you can really crump them.
Yep. So, and defeat in this game has a very wide range of definitions, and I would very much suggest against death being one of them. Putting 1 or 2 trauma on somebody, not a big deal. I mean, humans are still, occasionally violent. But taking somebody to 3 or 4 trauma and pushing them to that point where they might cease to be would be considered exceptionally bad form.
Yeah.
Nice cover, Phil. Oh, a flash of red. That's all we saw.
Yeah. Yeah, there's other people that live.
Yeah, and
in
there's
my
a
house.
mirror. That was the big trick, was figuring out there was a mirror.
Damn.
All right. So questions. We're done the encounter. We're not playing until this like so long that we're probably gonna forget all of this.
I had one question.
Yes, please.
So are we going to be like reshuffling our deck and pulling a new hand at the start of the new year for the first game?
Absolutely, yeah.
The first session. And then when a session ends, we don't refresh our hand, right? Because we have to rest for that, right?
You can do the drop 1 and draw 6 thing at any point during the day. So as long as you come out of an encounter with 1 card,
okay.
So then you can do that drop 1, or as we just did, even if you come out with no cards, you can do the draw 1, dump 1, and draw 6.
Is that the like equivalent of a short rest thing that they have?
Kind of. Out of
they
the
call
way
it take a break or something.
Yeah, it's called catch your breath.
Catch your breath. That's
so
the one I was thinking of.
In combat, it's 1 round. Out of combat, it's 5 minutes.
Okay.
But if you want to, the full rest allows you to throw away any or all of what you've got in your hand and draw up to 6. So you can throw away all the aces and deuces and draw up to 6 cards in your hand.
Up to your max hand.
Yeah. Or max hand, yes, because some people have 7.
Cool.
There will be a bazillion questions in the new year as well. Keep going. Yeah.
So like, I mean, say whether or not we do the catch your breath or whatever, if we're left with, I don't know, 4 cards in our hand at the end of a session, we start with those same 4 at the beginning of the next.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless the at the end of the encounter allows you a moment where you can say, "I'm going to catch my breath." Yeah. But yeah, if we, I can't imagine us stopping in mid-encounter. But yes, that is how it would work. So at some point,
probably
you have to catch your breath. Yeah.
I'd say the best way to do it is just keep tracking like description or something. Just be like,
yeah,
hey, I've
just
got
make just keep track of it somewhere. Yeah, absolutely. So the other thing I did, I'm going to mention is you guys can move these cards. So once we're in the game and flying, and I'm doing all my stuff, I'm going to ask that when I say, when I explain, you tell me what you're going to do, and I explain the consequences. I'm going to say there's 3 of them, and the first 2 are 3 3s. The last one's a 3 4. And I'm hoping you guys can drag the cards up, and then you can also. I'm going to make you all GMs. That way you can also grab your what will be player name tags. It won't say player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4, and you'll be able to grab your name tag and put it up which one of them you want to engage. So you guys will. I'm foisting a whole bunch of that off onto you guys when we start. So, other than that, any more questions? Starting to see glazed eyes. We're done. I can see it. Yeah, mine are glazing too. So, all right. So let's do it. 3 weeks from today is when we start. Just into the new year. We are going to get going with this campaign. We'll paint the picture of the world more completely then. In fact, there's the intro video that the people on Twitch are going to see is going to be a voiceover and some art from the book. sort of explaining the world, and we will take it from there, starting then. The thank yous. Thank you to Robin, Chris, Bison, and Phil for agreeing to come and play a system you never played before that's really different on stream in front of people, and I appreciate all of those things. So thank all 4 of you for that. Thank you also to chat. Good questions tonight. Thank you for hanging around. I know tutorials aren't the most fun thing to watch, but now you're going to understand the game so much better when you actually tune in to watch it. Instead of having to spend 3 or 4 episodes going, I'm starting to get this. So yes. Thank you also to anybody on YouTube who watches this, because if you watch both these tutorials on YouTube, you are a thank you, but you're a glutton for punishment, man. That's like 4 hours of a whole new game system. So thank you. And if you did, hit the like button. Holy cow. And hit that other button there too, the notification bell, because I'm getting a little better, but I still don't post on anything like a regular basis. Oh, coffee's done. Instructions are done. There's only one thing left. Until next time, please be nice to each other. Good night.
Bye.